What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Wurkkos HD02, and this is probably the most feature-rich flashlight we've ever featured on the channel. It is available now at an introductory price of $65, and of course I'll leave a link down in the description to both the Wurkkos website as well as Amazon, where the pricing is the same for that introductory price. MSRP on this is $129.95. I doubt it ends up going to that after the introductory price. My guess is it lands somewhere in between. But if you know you're going to be picking it up anyway, I would definitely try and pick it up at that $65 price point, because it's probably the cheapest we're going to see it for a while. And again, I'll leave a link to both options down in the description of the video. If you're watching this out in the future, I would definitely price compare to see which one offers the better pricing. Now, I mentioned very feature-rich flashlight. We'll go over all of those features in a little bit here, but we'll kind of start with the basics. And so in terms of sizing, it is a larger light at about just under 5 inches. So we're looking at 4.96 inches in length. We also are about 1.61 inches wide and then 1.02 inches thick. So definitely a bigger footprint. This is more one that I'm going to be throwing into a backpack or a sling or even into a pouch, more so than a pocket carry for me, just because of that sizing. Weighs 6.87 ounces with the battery installed. This one runs off a 21700 lithium ion battery, and it does ship with a 5000 milliamp 21700 lithium ion battery. USB-C rechargeable. It also offers reverse charging, so you can utilize that battery for charging your devices. Obviously that's going to deplete the battery and take away from your runtime, but definitely nice to have in a pinch. It is IPX6 waterproof and 1 meter impact resistant. And then we do have a very robust pocket clip. Again, not something I'm necessarily carrying in my pocket for longer periods of time, but still nice to have if you're putting in a larger bag, so you can clip it in and secure it in place. Has a magnetic tail switch as well, which is very strong. I'm able to put this one at a 90-degree angle, and no matter what orientation I set it in, it's able to carry all 6.87 ounces without it sliding or rotating on you. We have seen with some smaller flashlights that magnetic tail switch is kind of finicky, where you have to put it at the exact right orientation or it kind of slides down when you're hanging it vertically. Don't run into that problem with this one at all, which is really nice. That tail switch is also removable, which is nice. So you have access to that battery. If it ever dies on you, you can replace it. Don't have to trash out the whole flashlight or go to warranty for it. And so always appreciate the removable battery. And you can see this one also has the tripod mount accessories, and so you can mount any of your tripod accessories with that regular size tripod screw. And that's a really nice feature for this one in particular, thanks to these wings, so that you can set that up and act as a lantern. And so those are fully adjustable in both brightness as well as color temperature, from 3000K to 6000K. So if you want that warmer light, you can go on the lower side, and then that brighter, cooler light, you can go on to the higher side. So really nice features there as well, and you can also adjust the lumens from that. And so we'll take a look at that a little bit more, but really nice to have that tripod feature if you're going to be utilizing that, so you can kind of utilize this as a lantern of sorts. So definitely appreciate that. Now we'll go into the main features first before getting into the wing. And so we'll start with the main light. You can see there's a rotary dial around our side switch, and so that allows you to select what type of lighting you want. So right here in the forward position is going to be our spotlight. If we go over here, we have our laser, and if we go the opposite direction, we have our UV light. So we'll start with our regular light. You can see there is also a battery indicator to give you an idea of how much charge you have. So with this, we have from low to high, 10 lumens up to 3200 lumens. Now that 3200 lumens is only going to last for about 60 seconds before it steps down to 1000 lumens, and then it'll run for another 1.75 hours. And so definitely gets pretty bright. You can access the memory mode by just single clicking. Wherever you leave it is where it will go back on, and so we can see that here. You can see this is a gradient adjustment, so we don't have in betweens like a low, medium, high, turbo. It's all just from 10 lumens all the way up to that 3200 lumens, and you can hold that button to go higher and then let go and hold again to go lower. If you double tap at any point, it will go into our turbo mode, and then you can double tap again to get into our low mode. And so that's all while it's on, and then even from either of those, you can just adjust it by holding that button. And so you can find the exact brightness that you want. From the off position, if you don't want to go into your memory mode, you can hold it for a second to go into your low mode, and that's going to start you off at that 10 lumen mode, and then again, you can adjust from there. So really adjustable with our spotlight. And if we have it on and we rotate it, we will go into those other modes. So we have our green laser here, and so the laser is a 3 milliwatt kilowatt light laser that lasts for 60 hours. Going over to our other side, to our UV, the laser only has one setting, the UV has two. So we have our low mode, which is 0.8 watts, and that's going to last for 15 hours, or our high mode for 3.0 watts for 5 hours. And again, this is just regular UV. So if you have UV reactive gear, it's going to make it super helpful for finding that in the dark, for charging your glow, for identifying scorpions or certain fluids, all kinds of different use cases for UV. So nice to have all of those different features. And then again, you can cycle while it's on to go through those different features if you choose to do so, or you can turn it off and then just keep it in whatever setting you're going to use it in most of. And so even that UV, it does have that memory mode, so we can cycle back to our low if we want to use it. And then we do have the, again, removable battery. You just unscrew it. Not going to go through that in this case because it's pretty standard use case there, but we do have that UV port on the back. Now for the wings, these automatically go on as soon as you open them. And so here we can all open them upside down so we can see them a little bit better here. They do not rotate. That is one feature I think would be really cool. They actually open up pretty far, as you can see, but they don't rotate. I would be cool to be able to rotate it 180 degrees in either direction, and even be able to close them with that light on the outside. It can still go off as soon as it closes, but that would be a neat feature I'd like to see in the future in future iterations of this. It does have a ball detent in there, so it closes a little, or it turns off a little bit before you close it, but it does kind of snap into place very nicely. Now these lights are adjustable with the same button. They're not on the dial, they're just on when you open it, and so you can hold the button to change the brightness or the lumens, and so you get a lot brighter, and then you can let go and do it again to go the opposite direction. You can also click and then hold to change the color temperature. So you can see we went from that warm light to this cool light. And so whether you adjust the lumens in the low setting, high setting, it'll be the same, but you can still adjust the color temperature as well by clicking and then holding. And so if you prefer warm light, you can go to the lower end of that range. If you prefer the cool light, you can go to the upper end of that range, and both of them are fully adjustable. And so we'll take a look at the different brightnesses here. So on the side lights, and I can turn that off here. On the side lights, we have a 5 lumen low up to 300 lumen high on the cool side. The 5 lumens will last for about 145 hours versus 4 hours for the 300 lumen high. On the warm light, it's a little bit lower. So 5 lumens on the low end still, that's going to be 145 hours as well, but the high end stops at 250 lumens for 4 hours once again. So definitely something to be aware of there, depending on which end of the spectrum you end up going to. Now there is a strobe mode as well, which I haven't shown yet, as well as a lockout feature. So if you are sensitive to strobe, I would go ahead and skip ahead 30 seconds or so. It's pretty typical strobe mode. You get to it by triple clicking. And so here you can see our strobe. That's going to be a nice bright strobe. Same as the turbo, it obviously steps down as that battery gets lower. And then our lockout is quadruple click. So quadruple click to lock it, quadruple click again to get out of that locking mode. So nice identical settings there. Really nice style to this flashlight as well, not just kind of your run-of-the-mill. It's got that kind of gray, titanium gray coloring to it, and then some just nice contours to it overall. So good looking flashlight, pretty comfortable in hand. It is very, very bulky. So again, wanted to reiterate, not really your pocket carry for the most part, but definitely something I would want in my hiking bag. If you're going out camping, something like that, perfect flashlight to take with you, especially with all of the different settings it offers, from a spotlight, the floodlights on its wings. You've got the laser if you want to point something out, and that UV, which is again, good for identifying lost gear, but also if you're in like scorpion country, if you've never seen a scorpion under UV, very, very cool and a good fun kind of activity for the night to go scorpion hunting. So let me know what you think of this flashlight down in the comments below. As usual, I'll make sure to link to both options down in the description. Both are the same price right now, $65 for that introductory price. On Amazon, you have to make sure to click the box to redeem the coupon. It isn't automatically applied to your cart, so it's possible to completely check out at that $129.95 price point. Definitely make sure to redeem that because it is a pretty big savings, initially 50% off for that introductory pricing, so you want to make sure you click to redeem that box. But again, would love to hear your thoughts on this one down in the comments below. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, checking out some of my other content. All helps the channel out a ton, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.